Hey folks, it's a bit of a different type of video today. I'm going to be reading the Bible. I'm reading the book of Nehemiah, and I'm at the end of it. The book of Nehemiah is about Nehemiah, who takes leadership of rebuilding the city of Jerusalem. This is near the end of the chapter, and we'll just continue from here. Resettlement of Jerusalem. The administrators took up residence in Jerusalem, and the rest of the people cast lots to bring 1 man in 10 to reside in Jerusalem, the holy city, while the other 9 would remain in the other cities. The people blessed all those who willingly agreed to take up residence in Jerusalem. These are the heads of the province who took up residence in Jerusalem. In the cities of Judah dwelt Israelites, priests, Levites, temple servants, and the descendants of Solomon's servants, each on the property they owned in their cities. In Jerusalem dwelt both Judahites and Benjaminites. Of the Judahites, Athaiah, son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalel, the sons of Perez, Maaseiah, the son of Baruch, son of Kol-Hoseh, son of Haziah, son of Adiah, son of Joiarib, son of Zechariah, a son of the Shelonites. The total of descendants of Perez who dwelt in Jerusalem was 468 people of substance. These were the Benjaminites: Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Joed, son of Pedaiah, son of Koliah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ithiel, son of Jeshiah, and his kinsmen, warriors, 928 in number. Joel, son of Zikri, as their commander, and Judah, son of Hasenua, was the second in command of the city. Among the priests were Jediah, Joiarib, Jachin, Seraiah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Merioth, son of Ahitub, the ruler of the house of God, and their kinsmen who carried out the temple service, 822, Adiah, son of Jeroham, son of Pelaliah, son of Amzi, son of Zechariah, son of Pashur, son of Malchijah, and his kinsmen, heads of ancestral houses, 242, and Amasai, son of Azarel, son of Azai, son of Meshilemoth, son of Immer, and his kinsmen, warriors, 128, and their commander was Zabdiel, son of Haggadol. Among the Levites were Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashibiah, son of Bani, Shabbethai, and Jozabad, Levitical chiefs who were placed over the external affairs of the house of God. Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zabdi, son of Asaph, director of the Psalms, who led the thanksgiving at prayer. Bakbukiah, second in rank among his kinsmen, and Abda, son of Shammua, son of Galal, son of Jeduthun. The total of the Levites in the holy city was 284. The gatekeepers were Akub, Talmon, and their kinsmen, who kept watch over the gates, 172 in number. The rest of Israel, including priests and Levites, were in all the other cities of Judah in their own inheritances. The temple servants lived in Ophel. Ziha and Gishpa were in charge of the temple servants. The prefect of the Levites in Jerusalem was Uzi, son of Bani, son of Hashabiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micah. He was one of the descendants of Asaph, the singers appointed to the service of the house of God, for they had been appointed by royal decree, and there was a fixed schedule for the singers, assigning them their daily duties. Pethahiah, son of Meshizabel, the descendant of Zerah, son of Judah, was royal deputy in all affairs that concerned the people. Other settlements. As concerns their villages with their fields, Judahites lived in the Kiriath Arba and its dependencies, in Dibon and its dependencies, in Jekabzeel and its villages, in Jeshua, Moladah, Beth Pelet, in Hajar Shual, in Beersheba and its dependencies, in Ziklag, in Mekona and its dependencies, in En-Rimmon, Zorah, Jarmuth, Zanoah, Adullam and their villages, Lachish and its fields, Azekah and its dependencies. They were settled from Beersheba to Gehinnom. Benjaminites were in Geba, Michmash, Ijah, Bethel and its dependencies, Anathoth, Nob, Ananiah, Hazor, Ramah, Gittaim, Hadid, Zebuim, Nebalat, Lod, Ono, and the valley of the artisans. Some divisions of Levites from Judah were attached to Benjamin. Okay, so resettlement of Jerusalem, long list of people and their genealogies and kinsmen. Chapter 12. Priests and Levites at the time of Zerubbabel. The following are the priests and Levites who returned with Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua: Sariah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Maluk, Hattush, Shechaniah, Rehum, Meremoth, Edo, Ginnethon, Abijah, Mijamin, Maadiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, and Joirib, Jediah, Salu, Amok, Hilkiah, Jediah. These were the priestly heads and their kinsmen in the days of Jeshua. The Levites were Jeshua, Binui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, Mattaniah, who, together with his kinsmen, was in charge of the thanksgiving hymns, while Bakbukiah and Uno and their kinsmen ministered opposite them by turns. High priests. Jeshua became the father of Joiakim, Joiakim the father of Eliashib, and Eliashib the father of Joiada, Joiada the father of Johanan, and Johanan the father of Jaddua. The priests and Levites under Joiakim. In the days of Joiakim, these were the priestly family heads: for Sariah, Meriah; for Jeremiah, Hananiah; for Ezra, Meshullam; for Amariah, Jehohanan; for Malukai, Jonathan; for Shebaniah, Joseph; for Harim, Adnah; for Meremoth, Helkai; for Edo, Zechariah; for Ginnethon, Meshullam; for Abijah, Zikri; for Miamin, for Moadiah, Piltai; for Bilgah, Shammua; for Shemaiah, Jehonathan; and for Joirib, Mattenai; for Jediah, Uzi; for Salu, Kalai; for Amok, Eber; for Hilkiah, Hashabiah; for Jediah, Nathaniel. In the time of Eliashib, Joiah, Johanan, and Jaddua, the heads of ancestral houses of the priests were written down in the book of Chronicles, up until the reign of Darius the Persian. The sons of Levi, the family heads, were written down in the book of Chronicles, up until the time of Johanan, the son of Eliashib. The heads of the Levites were Hashabiah, Sherebiah, Jeshua, Binui, Kadmiel. Their kinsmen who stood opposite them to sing praises and thanksgiving in fulfillment of the command of David, the man of God, one section opposite the other, were Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, Obadiah. Meshullam, Talmon, and Akub were gatekeepers. They guarded the storerooms at the gates. All these lived in the time of Joiakim, son of Jeshua, son of Jozadak, and in the time of Nehemiah the governor and Ezra the priest and scribe. Dedication of the wall. At the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, the Levites were sought out wherever they lived and were brought to Jerusalem to celebrate a joyful dedication with thanksgiving hymns and the music of cymbals, harps, and lyres. The Levitical singers gathered together from the region about Jerusalem, from the villages of the Netophathites, from Beth Gilgal, from the plains of Geba and Azmaveth, for the singers had built themselves settlements about Jerusalem. The priests and Levites first purified themselves, then they purified the people, the gates, and the wall. I had the administrators of Judah go up the wall, and I arranged 2 great choirs. The first of these proceeded to the right, along the top of the wall, in the direction of the dung gate, followed by Hoshea and half the administrators of Judah, along with Azariah, Ezra, Meshullam, Judah, Benjamin, Shemaiah, and Jeremiah, priests with the trumpets, and also Zechariah, son of Jonathan, son of Shemaiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micaiah, son of Zakur, son of Asaph, and his kinsmen Shemaiah, Azarel, Milalai, Gilalai, Maai, Nethanel, Judah, and Hanani, with the musical instruments of David, the man of God. Ezra the scribe was at their head. At the fountain gate they went straight up by the steps of the city of David and continued along the top of the wall above the house of David until they came to the water gate on the east. The second choir proceeded to the left, followed by myself and the other half of the administrators, along the top of the wall past the oven tower as far as the broad wall, then past the Ephraim gate to the Mishnah gate, the fish gate, the tower of Hananel, the 100 tower as far as the sheep gate. They came to a halt at the prison gate. Both choirs took up a position in the house of God, I too, and half the magistrates with me, together with the priests Eliakim, Maaseiah, Minjamin, Micaiah, Elioenai, Zechariah, Hananiah, with the trumpets, and Maaseiah, Shemaiah, Eleazar, Uzi, Jehohanan, Malchijah, Elam, and Ezer. The singers were heard under the leadership of Jezrahiah. Great sacrifices were offered on that day, and they rejoiced, for God had given them great cause for rejoicing. The women and the children joined in, and the rejoicing at Jerusalem could be heard from far off. At that time men were appointed over the chambers set aside for stores, offerings, firstfruits, and tithes. In them they were to collect from the fields of the various cities the portions legally assigned to the priests and Levites. For Judah rejoiced in its appointed priests and Levites, who carried out the ministry of their God and the ministry of purification, as the singers and the gatekeepers, in accordance with the prescriptions of David and Solomon his son. For in the days of David and Asaph, long ago, there were leaders of singers for songs of praise and thanksgiving to God. All Israel, in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah, gave the singers and the gatekeepers their portions, according to their daily needs. They made their consecrated offerings to the Levites, and the Levites made theirs to the descendants of Aaron. So, pretty long, lots of names again. Not really a census, kind of, but listing the priests and Levites who were present at the time when Jerusalem was reinstated. Interesting how it makes me really want to see Jerusalem, where he's naming the different gates and locations, and who was basically manning those spots. Let's move on to the last chapter here. At that time, when the book of Moses was being read in the hearing of the people, it was found written there, "No Ammonite or Moabite may ever be admitted into the assembly of God. For they did not meet the Israelites with food and water, but they hired Balaam to curse them, though our God turned the curse into a blessing. When they heard the law, they separated all those of mixed descent from Israel." Reform in the temple. Before this, the priest Eliashib, who had been placed in charge of the chambers of the house of our God, and who was an associate of Tobiah, had set aside for the latter's use a large chamber in which had previously been stored the grain offerings, incense in vessels, and tithes in grain, wine, and oil allotted to the Levites, singers, and gatekeepers, and the offerings due the priests. During all this time I had not been in Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, I had gone back to the king. After a suitable period of time, however, I asked leave of the king and returned to Jerusalem, where I discovered the evil thing that Eliashib had done for Tobiah, in setting aside for him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. This displeased me very much, so I had all of Tobiah's household goods thrown outside the chamber. Then I gave orders to purify the chambers, and I brought back the vessels of the house of God, the grain offerings, and the incense. I learned too that the portions due to the Levites were no longer being given, so that the Levites and the singers who should have been carrying out the services had deserted to their own fields. I reprimanded the magistrates, demanding, "Why is the house of God neglected?" Then I brought the Levites together and had them resume their stations. All Judah once more brought in the tithes of grain, wine, and oil to the storerooms. In charge of the storerooms I appointed Shelemiah the priest, Zadok the scribe, and Pedaiah, one of the Levites, together with Hanan, son of Zakur, son of Mattaniah, as their assistant, for they were considered trustworthy. It was their duty to make the distribution to their kinsmen. Remember this to my credit, my God. Do not forget the good deeds I have done for the house of my God and its services. Sabbath observance. In those days I perceived that the people in Judah were treading the wine presses on the Sabbath, that they were bringing in sheaves of grain, loading them on their donkeys, together with wine, grapes, figs, and every other kind of load, and bringing them to Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. I warned them to sell none of these provisions. In Jerusalem itself, the Tyrians residing there were importing fish and every other kind of merchandise and selling it to the Judahites on the Sabbath. I reprimanded the nobles of Judah, demanding, "What is this evil thing you are doing, profaning the Sabbath day? Did not your ancestors act in the same way, with the result that our God has brought all this evil upon us and upon this city? Would you add to the wrath against Israel by once more profaning the Sabbath?" When the shadows were falling on the gates of Jerusalem before the Sabbath, I ordered the doors to be closed and prohibited their reopening until after the Sabbath. I posted some of my own people at the gates so that no load might enter on the Sabbath day. The merchants and sellers of various kinds of merchandise spent the night once or twice outside Jerusalem, but then I warned them, "Why do you spend the night alongside the wall? If you keep this up, I will beat you." From that time on, they did not return on the Sabbath. Then I ordered the Levites to purify themselves and to watch the gates, so that the Sabbath day might be kept holy. This too remember in my favor, my God, and have mercy on me in accordance with your great mercy. Mixed marriages. Also in those days I saw Jews who had married the women of Ashdod, Ammon, or Moab. Of their children, half spoke the language of Ashdod, or of one of the other peoples, and none of them knew how to speak the language of Judah. So I reprimanded and cursed them. I beat some of their men and pulled out their hair, and I adjured them to my God. You shall not marry your daughters to their sons, nor accept any of their daughters for your sons or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, the king of Israel, sin because of them? Though among the many nations there was no king like him, and though he was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel, yet even he was led to sin by foreign women. Must it also be heard of you that you have done this same terrible evil, betraying our God by marrying foreign women? One of the sons of Joiada, son of Eliashib the high priest, was the son-in-law of Sanballat the Horonite. I drove him from my presence. Remember against them, my God, and how they defile the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and the Levites. So I cleansed them of all foreign contamination. I established the various functions for the priests and Levites, so that each had an appointed task. I also provided for the procurement of wood at stated times and for the first fruits. Remember this in my favor, my God. And I think that's it for the book of Nehemiah. So I'm not a teacher of the Bible or Bible history by any means. It's definitely a very interesting reading. Yeah, that's it for Nehemiah, and I might be back with some more of this later. God bless you all. Bye-bye.